Hey guys, really appreciate all the support you guys been giving me on YouTube recently. I've been having a ton of fun in season 9 and hope I can just keep coming out with videos to help you guys learn this game. If you guys want to use code Leon to check out with Focus, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to go to my Nexus link and support me with buying some yemas, I'd greatly appreciate it. Love you guys.
Items, I'm going to give you guys what is the counterplay. All right, I'm gonna go quickly through all the items, and I'm gonna tell you guys two to three things about these items that you might have not known or you might have known, but they will help you. Okay, chat? Does that sound like a good video? So instead of me being like, hey guys, this is Runeshield, it gives 30 physical power, 50 magical prawns, and these. So I think it's much better like that. All right, guys. So Soul Eater, right? Soul Eater is a very good one. We're gonna start off from highest net worth to lowest net worth. Lowest net worth to highest net worth. So Soul Eater. Oh, and which god uses item well? Okay, correct. All right, so Soul Eater. This item is very interesting. So a lot of I'm already talking more than I already said I was gonna talk. All right, I'm so bad at YouTube. Clappa. Okay, so Soul Eater. I'm gonna just freestyle. Soul Eater is an item that's picked up by characters that can spam rotation of their kit on waves or camps and can get a ton of health back, right? So the Tsukiyomi, the Tsukiyomi, I can't think, the Wukongs, a lot of those characters that are, ability spammers that can get to 40% CD, Cleo. And what is the big thing for you to look out for when building Soul Eater? Look for the divines, look for the brawlers, look for the counter healing early in their comp. One thing you can do that's even a more in-depth tip is that look at their comp and see how they're willing to build divine brawlers without looking at your Soul Eater. For example, they have a Sylvanas. You have a Sylvanas in your team. The chances are you're going to see a Brawlers, right? You're going to see a Divine. You're going to see a Pesty. So that is a big red flag for Soul Eater because you're going to get countered, without them even thinking about it. They're just going to add on to the amount of things they're countering. So it's always something to keep in mind. Like I said, Cleo. Yeah, Cleo's another one that uses really well. A lot of the, solo characters, even a lot of junglers as well, can abuse it. We're going to go to Runic Shield. We have not seen Runic Shield built since 2015. Why? Okay, so let's look at these stats. 30 physical power, 50 magical protections, 150 health. My man Zero is just going absolutely crazy, bro. Oh my god.
Why?
Zero with another 20 bomb. I will not interrupt this video. Zero sexy. See it on YouTube. Kiss him in the mouth. Drop some comments for Zero. Alright. The reason Runic isn't built, let's be real, it's a really low stat item. It's an item that is a spike oriented item. When you think about Smite right now, it's not about the spikes, right? It's about the late game. It's about the fire giant. It's about the 6 slots. So when you look at your 6 slots, do you want Runic Shield in your 6 slots? No, that's an item you take out, right? Usually you don't want that in 6 slot. You'd rather sell it than buy something else, which is counterintuitive to how much gold you're going to be spending. And is it good enough to is the spike good enough for you to sell it late game? Like when you have the item, how much can you get out of it that it's worth buying instead of just buying a late game item, a luxury item? It's not there, right? It's never happening. So that's why that item is dead. Golden Blade. I mean, we've seen this item literally changed the patch. If you guys know, you guys been watching my Mercury videos, I always build Golden Blade on Mercury, even before, it was meta. Reason being is just there's some characters that are farm oriented, right? Baka, Merc, Nem. And these characters just want to get to their 6 slots, and this item enables it, right? The reason Golden Blade came back so hard was 9.5 made minions tankier, with camps being tankier and waves. You want to get as much DPS out on the waves and camps as best as you can, and that's why Golden Blade came back. It did get nerfed in the gold department, but it's still really prevalent on those AA gods, so definitely would be picking this up in a lot of different spots. All right, let's talk about Xe, right? Xe is in a weird spot, mostly built when... Okay, so there's one item that competes with it, right? It's Silver Branch. Silver Branch is just a better Xe. Problem with Xe, though, is that you have to hit the person 3 times before getting value out of it, right? So if you, let's say for example, you are on her, right? You start ulting off the bat, right? You're not getting the 20% pen, correct, on that ult, because you don't have 20% pen. You have a passive on Xe that if you hit someone 3 times, you will shred their protections by with 4 stacks to 28%. So that's why Xe is inconsistent. But now, where would you buy Xe? I would buy Xe on characters like Osiris, Erlang, any of those AA junglers, Nemesis, those type of characters. Not Mercury, but you know, the characters like Osiris, Erlang. Trying to think of more. Maybe yeah, I think that's kind of it. But reason being why is that you shred fire's protections and gold, so it's really good when you have double hunter. Not only that, if you and your hunter are hitting the same people, you're going to be getting insane amount of value. So usually buy it when you see that you have 2 hunters or 1 hunter that can really you know, that you feel like you're going on the same target. So let's continue. Jotun's Wrath. I mean, Jotun's Wrath is like bread and butter when you think about Smite, right? It's just been the item for junglers since the past 10 years. It's always going to be that. I mean, 20% CD, 40 power, 150 mana, 10 pen. It's a little outdated, right? Like, what the hell? Like, I think mana is like whatever. You don't really care about that. But the 10 pen, the 10 flat pen's nice. The 20% CD is the reason you really buy it, right? So this has always been the bridge item. Reason you don't really see this item as much is that you are playing for a complete late game right now, right? In this meta. And so why build Jotuns when you can build Trance? And usually you want to go into Boomba's Hammer or Boomba's Spear, which already has extra CDs, so you're more likely going to overcap, especially with Hydra just being a flat out better item than Jotuns right now. So just always keep that in mind. Stone Cutting. I mean, Stone Cutting really similar to Xe in the sense of the characters that are building it. You know, the Osiris, the Nemesis, even Merc, you can do it as well. Any of the AA junglers, it's a great bridge item. A great starting item. It lets you box with hunters in the beginning, right? If you first slot it, you can actually box hunters for a while. And it just gives great stats, right? 7% movement speed, 50%, 50 power. I mean, and then you get extra procs of hitting, so it allows you to trade. Also helps with scorps and camps, even low key. It's a little bit. It's something. So always keep that in mind. Stone Cutting, pretty good item right now. ASTRAL, another dead item. It just literally goes hand in hand with the meta, right? What's the meta late game? So because it's late game, all these bridge items are dead. Cat Shield got nerfed, but yeah, these bridge items are dead. When I say bridge items, what do I mean? I mean these items that help you have a stronger early game, since early game does not matter nearly as much in this new meta. These items are not going to be found. Devourer's Gauntlet. So Devourer's Gauntlet got kind of rebuffed actually for lifesteal, since it's really the only really good lifesteal item besides Aussie. And Devourer's Gauntlet probably compete for lifesteal outside of Soul Eater. Soul Eater is a little buggy when because it's ability lifesteal, but when it comes to just auto lifesteal, attack damage lifesteal, Gauntlet is one of those core items. Problem is that you have to stack it. So, but not a problem in this meta where everybody's trying to farm and stack. So no problem with Gauntlet. Frostbound Hammer. 25 physical power, 250 health. I mean, this item is just always the item that is with these, you know, the Bellonas, the Osiris. Thing is, it's like, I think it's just right now just for Bellona because she just wants to box, and she's one of those characters that can really apply it really well but Osiris, I think, already kind of keeps you down with his 1-2, so he doesn't really need it. So Frostbound, kind of just a Bellona item right now. Don't pick it up if you're not Bellona. That is the end of the conversation. Sledge. It's just a spike item, right? Like, all these spike items, we're just not seeing them. The only place you really see them are in solo, but, like, Sledge is just so dead. Like, all these spike items are dead. You just want to get 6 slotted, and you want to have the best 6 slots possible, so you can continue your build with red pots and relic upgrades. But yeah, Sledge is really dead. You could probably find, like, you know, the 1 in 10 times that the item has some value, where you're grouping pretty early on a physical support, or a physical solo, but probably not even solo. I would say a physical support. So let's say, for example, Horus, and you're playing really fast and you want to, you know, aggress at their red buffs. This item's not bad, right? You're gonna get a lot of value, right? Because there's gonna be 3 people defending red usually, and it means you're gonna get max value out of the passive. And then the stats are not the worst. You just want to make sure that you can get a lot out of CCR. So I'll give you a quick tip on CCR. So characters like with stuns and slows are the ones that you want to look out for when you're grabbing CCR. Not roots. Roots do not get, you know, CCR'd nor DR'd. So don't get CCR for those. Get it for stuns and slows. Okay. So let's say for example they have a Capri. Sledge is pretty useless. His root is going to get full duration. His pluck is going to get full duration. You're against a Horus. Okay, now you have pretty damn good value, right? So those are things to always think about. But yes, Hydra's literally one of the best assassin items in the game. If you look at this tree, this is the strongest tree for physical assassins right now. Hydra's is the best. It's such a good spike item. It's such a good 3-slot, 4-slot, 5-slot, doesn't matter where you build it, it's strong. If you're good with auto canceling, you'll get value out of it 24/7. I mean, always keep this item in mind. There's not much to say other than it's a great item, so make sure to keep that in mind when you're building as a jungler. Blackthorn Hammer, another item that we really don't see. It's usually a bridge item for warriors, right? Like if they have a magical or physical, they have a physical solo and a magical jungle. Blackthorn is usually the go-to, right? Because you don't want to build breastplate or Sov or something like that and then get ganked by a magical jungler and insta die. Blackthorn is that happy median where it gives you HP, which is pretty much protections versus both if you think about it. So another thing to think about with this item is not only do you need HP, but I do need MP5 to spam. So, you know, Achilles and whatnot, those characters are still under the belt. Still an okay item, I would say better than the rest, but not the greatest. Brawlers. So, Brawlers are just good in general, right? It's good base stats. Do they have healing? Yes. Build Brawlers in the jungle. They don't have healing? Don't really need it. Shifters. Shifters in a weird spot. So the passive is really never really read in my opinion. I don't think people take advantage of it as much, but when you're over 75% health, you get an extra 25 power, correct? So you have 50 power on this item when you're above 75% health, but while under 75% health, you gain 40 prots. So it's just a bridge item, and it's not like I would build it maybe on like if I'm trying to push my lead in solo. That's really the only time I can really think about me trying to build this item. You don't see me build this item in general. You don't really see it anywhere, but it's an okay item. Just it's a bridge item. 2350. What would you rather have, this or Mantle when you're 6-slotted? I mean, it's as simple as that. So that's why a lot of people don't build it. But Berserkers, one of the Berserkers and Guard are the best shields out of these. Berserkers is just good for if you want, like you're an Osiris jungle, right? And you got stone cutting, and you want to box and gank the assassin. I mean, sorry, the hunter, right? This is a really good item to do so. Once you get Berserkers and stone cutting, the hunter doesn't have crit yet. You can kill him, and you can really delay his crit, which destroys their game. So that's something to think about. I actually just taught myself that right now. I was like, damn, once I get Berserkers, I should be ganking, you know, duo immediately and just sit on it. But that's definitely what you should be doing. Shadow Steel Shuriken. I think it's an okay item, right? It's just a better version of Toxic because Toxic is garbage for hunters. So if you have crit and you need, you know, you desperately need counter healing, this is the way to go. But if you don't desperately, you know, keyword desperate, I think just the Wind Demon, Deathbringer, Atlantis items are just better. Runeforge, it falls in the same field as Sledge. It's an okay jungle item. It gives good HP 5, MP 5, good health. But the problem is it's a bridge item. But it's just a bridge item that doesn't do much when you're 6-slotted. I think I'd want to sell Runeforge in a lot of scenarios. But if you can get a good efficiency out of the passive, because you know you're a character with a ton of CC, Naja for example, it's okay. It's not a bad item. Just not the best. Guard, Gladiator Shields, I mean, just nuts item. Got rebuffed. The passive got buffed to hell. So it's definitely a very strong item. Should be building this on characters with multiple spells that can really take advantage of Glad Shield. So, you know, the King Arthur, Cuchulain's okay. You know, so those type of characters are the ones that stand out when you think about Glad Shield. But definitely in a good spot. Silver Branch, the best pen attack speed item in the game. If you're not building this and you're a hunter, you're doing it wrong. As simple as that, right? It's just too stacked. Everything is stacked about the item. So you just auto build it, and if you're a hunter, even in obviously some assassins could take advantage of it as well. Crusher's in a weird spot, but it's not bad. All right, so People think this item is bad, but they're misunderstanding what the item is. So before Crusher was broken, correct? Because the attack speed was stupid. I think it was 25%, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then if you add 25% attack speed to the rest of these stats, it looks ridiculous. They took out attack speed, right? Because hunters were abusing it first slot. And now what does the item really become? It becomes a Bastet item. It becomes an item that you can jump in, get a lot of value out of your tick abilities slash your passive, right? So enemies hit by your damaging abilities take an additional 20 physical damage plus 20% of your physical power, right? You have 200 physical power, now it's 40, right? 40, that's 60 over 2 seconds. That's a good chunk. It definitely adds up, and in this meta where you're running for your life from Deathbringer, not bad. So if you wanted to go build like Transcendence, Crusher, to rate it, that's not a bad build if you can definitely abuse the Crusher, so keep that in mind. Haste and Katana. Haste and Katana is a shit item. Okay, why? It literally is good on like 2 or 3 characters, and even after, like, it's just the characters that want to stick, and even the base stats are garbage. The passive is sick, right? You can literally stick to anyone, but the base stats are so bad on the item. 25 physical power, 50% attack speed, 7% movement speed. Just so little of everything. And the passive does not make up for it. It only makes up for it on characters like Vamana, Kali, those type of characters. So if you're not on those type of characters that need to stick, don't build this item. Icaville is in a good spot. I think you can outtrade jungler. I'm sorry, the opposing hunter when you have Icaville, as long as they don't have full stack gloves. Only thing is, if you think about them trading 2 hunters, you just don't trade when you have gloves, correct? You just sit under your tower, you clear the wave, you get your purple, you sit on the tower, clear the wave. Now, when you have finished gloves, problem is with Icaville is that you don't have sustain. So if you get out traded with just simple abilities, and a couple left clicks, he's gonna lifesteal off the wave and you won't be able to. So the Icaville has a small spike where you can you can pressure the other hunter. Thing is that won't last forever, but it's still a good slot. So characters like Rama and that have steroids, I think is a pretty good item. Dominance is just generally a good item for characters that you just need the extra pen, right? You see 2 to 3 characters with 200 prots plus. Dominance is just that item. It allows you to the passive says your basic attack benefits from an additional 15% of penetration. So that lets you overcap over the 40% that you could have max. So having 55% pen versus a character with 250 prots, you're gonna have some really good value there, right? So definitely an item to keep out for if you need that extra pen. Ragna's Mask meme. When you build this when you just want a one-shot and you don't care about anything else. The goal is to one-shot one character. Thing is, you take more damage, so you better be. It's a character that's just all-inning. That is, I feel like should be ability based. But other than that, very niche item. Wouldn't really build it too often. All right, let's get right here. Wind Demon. Wind Demon is a very good item just because crit meta. I think the base stats are not the greatest, right? In my opinion, I think what does it remind you actually, chat? Look at these stats. It reminds me of this, like a very weak statted item, but it's just literally bread and butter when you got crit, right? You got DB and you have Atlantis. What do you want? You want more crit, you want attack speed, and you want pen. I mean, only item that gives you all of that. So that's why it's just so good. Atlantis is in a good spot when you don't build gloves. I mean, I think stacking gloves and Atlantis just does. I feel like you're just overstacking the lifesteal, and with the passive always going on from the counter, lifesteal passive aura band-aid fix thing, it's just not that good, I feel. But when you go Transcendence on a hunter like Chernobog, I think Atlantis bow is just that third item after starter. Just so good after Transcendence, because Transcendence gives you everything you want: the power, the mana, and a little bit of CD. All you need is attack speed, lifesteal, and crit. And I mean, this is the only item that gives you all of them. So, there it is. Rage is a weird item. You only get it on characters that you want it. You need to guarantee your crit to be successful. So Mercury, Loki, if you're going crit, more assassins than hunters, because hunters need the attack speed, so they cannot build Rage right now. That's pretty much it for H. Cat Shield just got nerfed pretty hard. It's still okay when you can take advantage of the aura, but if not, then there's just better items with better stats than this item. So if they're not building brawlers or divine, and you have like a Sylvanas and you're an Aja, Cat Shield is not bad. It's a pretty good item. You're just gonna punish the fact that they're not building brawlers and they're not, you know what I mean? That's what I think this item is there for. Asi. Asi's was super weak for a while, correct? Like, no one was building it. It got nerfed really hard. It was the only lifesteal item everybody was using. But now I think it's in a pretty good spot. I think it's underrated right now. I don't see it build often. 25 physical power, 15% lifesteal, 25% attack speed, 15 flat pen. So 15 flat pen is really good. It's really good for the early game. I think Trans Aussie should still be a build. I don't know why I don't see anybody building it, but I think Trans Aussie is still okay. We actually saw Scotty and roasted her for it, so we're sorry, but not really. But yeah, this item is still okay. I think Trans Aussie still makes sense to me on paper. You have a ton of power. You have a really good, like the timing of the flat pen is just so good, right? 15 flat pen, second slot. You already have enough power to make up for it. Now you have attack speed because of Aussie. Now you have lifesteal because of Aussie, and now you have a little bit extra power because of Aussie. Definitely in a good slot. Just a bit expensive though. So Titans got a buff recently. Well, got nerfed pretty hard. It's a weaker Atlantis bow. I disagree. So Atlantis gives 10% lifesteal, right? While Aussie gives 15%, and the passive is with lifesteal. So I disagree. If I have Aussie at Transcendence and you have gloves and Atlantis, if you literally have to bail on your 20% crit to outtrade me. That's the truth. If you can crit really often, Aussie should outtrade you. Titans is just that one item. So your first ability, all right, so read the passive, right? 55 physical power, 20% pen. I mean, great, 20% pen. But the passive, your first ability cast gains 20% physical pen. This can only occur once every 8 seconds. So first ability, keyword. So if you are Circuit, Titans is pretty shit, right? You're gonna get your 20% extra pen on your kiss, correct? So pretty shit. Thor, for example, when you lay down your hammer, since it doesn't, lay down your stun, since it doesn't do damage, it doesn't take the passive, then your double tap will take the passive. Excuse me. Or your ult, right? So Titan's Bane on Thor makes a lot of sense. Titan's Bane on a character like, Serket. I'm trying to think of the other assassins. Loki's pretty good because you're going to get it on your one. But usually it's been overshadowed by Serrated, since Serrated has infinitely more stats. So that's why. But Titans has been, touched up a little bit. 55 power now. They got buffed in the power department, so look out for it. Transcendence. The best item in the game right now. Why? Games go late, and you don't want any other item. You don't want an item that you're not stacking because you're falling behind every second that passes that you don't gank a lane. So Transcendence is just that item right now. Infinite mana. Who doesn't want infinite mana? It's just everything you want in your early game. Erendite, an item we don't see very often, but it's a very good item. The problem is that it's very niche when it comes to the passive. It's because of the way it procs. So it's at the end of your ultimate. It's when your ultimate goes on CD. So for characters like Set, that when you press your 4 button or your ult button, it doesn't go on CD yet. It goes on CD when you finish your ult, which is when it procs, which is pretty shit. So you have to be looking out for that really hard. But it's just a great item. Just the only thing it's missing is that it doesn't have pen. But 75 physical power, that's a lot of power. 10% CD, it's a good slot. Just so characters like Ravana, definitely a good character to look out for. Because as soon as he ults, it procs, which is exactly what you want when you chase. Characters like Shuriken, pretty good too. Void Shield. So Void Shield just MIA. 20 physical power, 35 physical prots, 150 health. Low stat item, very expensive item. Enemy god with 55 units, leave their physical over this. It's whatever. It's just not a good item. You know what it is that you need Spectral, right? You need Spectral, you need Mantle, you need Witchblade. All these you need items that don't give opportunity to these other items, and that's the truth. Kin Size, is just your most consistent ADC item, right? If they're gonna go double, triple Spectral, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, if you have four Fizz team in ranked, it's not the worst. But like I said, there's better items. Yeah, Void was OP back in like season 2, but yeah. So kin size shreds per HP. So what do you want to build with kins? You want to build pen and attack speed. So it amps. So it's every time you auto someone, you're taking 5% of their maximum health, right? So you need attack speed with that. So items that combo well with this: Odysseus, Aussie, Icavale, those type of items are the ones that amp up kin so that you have 2.5 attack speed and can literally shred. If you do the math, what is it? 12.5% if you have 2.5 attack speed. If you're hitting a warrior or a guardian, that's getting a lot of value. Serrated Edge, I mean, the best pen item for assassins for a year, 2 years now. It's been nerfed because they're trying to make it compete with Titans, but at the end of the day, it's still the #1, chosen pen item, pen item when it comes in the jungle. So 30 physical power, 25 lower than Titans if you just look at the base stats. 10% physical lifesteal, that's very nice. 20% pen, same as Titans. 7% movement speed, that's the key one right there. For every non-ultimate ability on cooldown, you gain a stack of cruelty. Each stack provides 8 physical power and 3% lifesteal. That's where it dominates Titans right here. It was better before, but I think Titans and Serrated are closer now, but Serrated is just still better. Having an extra 7% movement speed and 8 power times, 3 times these stacks? Oh yeah, so 3 times depending on the character, right? Every non-ultimate ability on cooldown, usually, let's say for example, you're playing Mercury, right? You ult, you pop your 2, you 1, then you 3. Now you're getting full value at a Serrated, and now you're hitting for 8 times 3, right? 8 times 3 is what, 24, so it's 54. So it's the same as Titans when it comes to power, right? But you have physical life still, you have extra movement speed. That's the biggest thing. So why build Titans is the question. I agree. This is something that I have complained to a lot of the devs, but it is what it is. Bloodforge. This item is pretty much I'm going to witness this game type of item, because the past I love. There's nothing better than seeing an 0-5 hunter with Bloodforge. It really just makes me put a smile on my face, honestly. But yeah, Bloodforge is just, I'm gonna take over the game, and those characters that really go crazy with it, characters like Thanatos, Thor. Thanatos better, but any characters that can secure kills, Uller for example, those are the characters that can get max value out of it. So I just think it's one of those items that I'm going to take over the game, so definitely pick it up if you feel that way about the game. Deathbringer, the most controversial item in the game, right? 50% physical power, 30% crit. The passive's broken. You crit everybody for 900 damage. You're the best character in the game. Omega low. Yeah, you just build it on every hunter. You can build it on some assassins that can take advantage and really just one-shot someone. That's just Deathbringer. Heartseeker, an item that is very good. It's one of the only items that really keeps assassins in the game. If assassins didn't have a Heartseeker, I just don't see how they deal with tanks. So obviously they had to implement some sort of item that helps with tanks. And when you have this item, you can poke frontline pretty well. Let's say for example you're Thor, right, and you want to poke Ajing 10 before he jumps into your Phoenix line. If you have Heartseeker, your 2-1's gonna proc some decent damage. Definitely pretty good item. Has been nerfed a couple times, but it's definitely in a good slot, so definitely be picking it up. And it's one of the, remember what I was talking about earlier, you want items that you don't want to sell when you're 6 slotted. This is definitely not one of them. It's a luxury item. So all these items like right here, you'll see all of them mostly without this one and this one. But a lot of these spike items are just gone, not really used. But hope you guys enjoyed all the physical. I'll do a magical one tomorrow or another day. But we'll start with this. I think this is a pretty good overview of all the items, and hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions or in the comments, feel free to ask. All right. Back to rank we go. Tomorrow we'll do the magical. Remind me, guys.